Pagal. Welcome sa third episode ng Rewatch 2025 where we recap the highlights of the year. I'm with our correspondents, Amor and Lance, and also joining us, Tristan Nodalo. One of the most historic and controversial coverages of the year is former President Rodrigo Duterte being arrested and turned over to the International Criminal Court. Right, Tristan?
Well, that's right, Menchu. No? During the week of March 8, lumabas na yung report na posibleng arestuhin ng International Criminal Court si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. And you have Malacanang saying it was ready to comply with its Interpol obligations. It was a total shift from the Marcos administration's earlier stance on the prospect of an ICC arrest when there was still a unity. Going back, the former president showed no hesitation on his possible looming arrest kasi in fact nagpunta pa siya sa Hong Kong to meet with his supporters.
True enough, bumalik pa rin sa bansa si former President Duterte. So Amor, you covered that actually nung arrival niya.
Actually, it was former presidential spokesperson Harry Roque yung nagsabi sa social media in a Facebook post na hapon of March 11 yung flight ni former President Duterte pabalik ng bansa. We got information na that morning ay lalapag na yung plane carrying the former president. So, ang ginawa naman natin syempre ay dali-dali tayong nag-rush to NAIA Terminal 3 para doon abangan yung flight ni former President Duterte.
Pero hindi ganun ang nangyari because while all the reporters were there, si Raul Esperas ng DWIZ actually scored an exclusive with then PNP CIDG Chief General Nicolas Torre. So, he confirmed na may taga-PCTC or yung local counterpart ng Interpol ready for Duterte. Di ba, Lance?
Well, we were also monitoring dito doon sa office, no, because it's all unexpected. And then, if I'm not mistaken, nakunan ni Mr. Raul Esperas na naisakay sa PNP coaster si dating Pangulong Duterte.
That's right, kasama yung partner niya na
Na
si
si
Hanilet. And then, we got the complete picture later on. Pero kayo, Amor, you were waiting sa NAIA Terminal 3.
Ang una lang na kumausap sa amin sa mga media doon was former President Duterte's former aide, si Senator Bongo. Nandun din si dating Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello and yung lawyer ni Duterte na si Martin Delgra. And ang sinabi lang nila sa amin sa media noon was the former president has been taken away. Wala raw silang nakitang arrest warrant at ang sabi nila that time, hindi nila alam kung saan dadalhin next si former President Duterte. So we later found out na sa Villamor Air Base nga siya dadalhin.
And that was around noon already when you went to Villamor. Pero tumagal hanggang gabi yung stakeout ninyo. I remember nag-viral pa si Senator Bongo who attempted to enter with bringing yung mga kahon-kahon ng pizza.
Pero sobrang higpit kasi ng security at that time. So even si Senator Bongo ay hindi pinapasok.
Yung crucial na nangyari dun sa loob ay nanggaling sa mga social media posts.
Yung pinagkukunan ng information was the Instagram stories of the former president's daughter, which is si Kitty Duterte.
Nakikita naman natin doon sa mga videos na yun, kung si Kitty ay very emotional and even yung mom niya na si Hanilet na talagang nagagalit sila sa mga authorities kay Torre na saan dadalhin yung kanyang tatay. Si former President Duterte naman ay very calm na nagtatanong dun sa mga authorities na ano yung legal basis nyo for taking me anywhere, ipakita nyo sa akin.
Nung kagabihan na, ay pumunta mismo si VP Sara doon sa Villamor Air Base. Nagpa-interview nga si VP Sara together with Senator Bongo and doon na nila nilabas yung kanilang mga damdamin.
Yung Pangulo mismo, Tristan, was the one who actually humarap sa media right after, right?
Reporters were on standby on that day sa Malacanang waiting for a statement. No, we were told a number of times to wait dahil may magsasalita raw. Then at 11:03 p.m., it was President Bongbong Marcos who said that Duterte was arrested.
Did VP Sara address yung mga supporters at that time?
As far as I remember dun sa coverage ko, hindi siya nagsalita doon sa crowd. But it's also because I think they're preparing for her flight dahil the day after, sumunod na siya.
Add ko lang, noong September 23, nagkaroon tayo ng pagkakataon na makapunta sa The Hague dahil ito dapat yung araw na masasagawa yung confirmation of charges hearing para sa dating Pangulo. Pero pinuspone ito ng ICC days before the actual confirmation of hearing dahil nga sa iniraise ng defense team ng dating Pangulo pagdating sa kanyang health condition. But still, I was able to spoke with ICC spokesperson Fadi El Abdallah kung saan sinabi niyang walang katotohanan yung mga accusation na nakikipagsabuatan yung ICC with the Marcos administration. Naroon din yung mga pamilya ng drug war victim. Meron din doon mga nagpunta ng mga taga-suporta ng dating Pangulo.
Well, habang busy si VP Sara attending to her father in The Hague, matindi naman yung naging debate over her impeachment back home. Kung gaano kabilis yung turn of events sa arrest ng former president, how would you describe the developments surrounding his daughter's impeachment?
There was a fourth impeachment complaint. Medyo matagal yung proseso from December onwards. But in February, one day lang yung kinailangan between the filing and yung pagtatransmit sa Senado ng impeachment complaint.
The articles of impeachment.
Yes. That was the last session
Yes.
day actually. So there was that entire debate kung pwede
yung
nga bang, ano
aksyonan?
pwedeng gawin? Oo, ano nang pwedeng gawin ng Senate kasi matatapos na yung session nila that day.
So, doon nagsimula yung mahabang diskusyon kung ano ba talaga ang ibig sabihin ng forthwith.
Yes.
Well, amid the squabbling among the lawmakers, ano naman yung sinasabi ni VP Sara?
So yung pinaka sinasabi niya is, kung siya yung masusunod, she wants a bloodbath trial.
But that didn't happen. Not
Of
even
course.
close. Nag-convene naman ang Senate into an impeachment court on June 10, but that was the first and the last.
Yeah, yet.
Yet. So, what happened next?
Nagulat na lang kami nung araw na yon, nag-convene ang impeachment court but only to vote to decide to return the articles of impeachment doon sa Kamara.
For now, the Senate has archived the impeachment complaint.
Exactly.
And dahil nga sa may Supreme Court ruling, 'di ba, nung July 25, they declared it unconstitutional.
Ang ruling ng Supreme Court ay na-violate yung constitutional ban na 1 year dahil fourth impeachment complaint itong ipinasa ng Kamara and ibinigay sa Senado. But of course, there's still discussion, may dinedebate pa yan. Sa ngayon, walang mangyayari sa impeachment complaint unless i-reverse ng Supreme Court yung kanilang ruling.
By February 2026, mag-expire na yung 1-year bar doon sa pag-file ng impeachment. And there are some groups from the progressive bloc na vocal na that they will file a fresh impeachment complaint. But also the interesting part there, nag-iba na yung leadership. We
Yeah.
all know that impeachment is a numbers game.
Yes.
Before, nung na-file yung impeachment na yon, it was still led by the president's cousin, the former House Speaker Martin Romualdez. But now, nagbago na ng liderato sa Kamara, and then, of course, iba na rin yung magiging, kumbaga, 2 years away from the elections na.
And also another set of preparations
Yeah.
for the impeachment trial. Kasi kung matatandaan natin, sinundan natin even preparations yung mga robes na
Yes.
sinukat at pinagawa para sa mga
Magkano rin
senator
kaya yun,
judges. Oo, nagsukatan pa sila ng
Pwede
mga
ba yun gamitin
impeachment
ulit?
robe.
Pero ni-refurbish din nila, 'di ba? Yung witness stand na ginamit during the corona impeachment trial. And
Although, ang sinabi ni Senator Escudero, nasa 1 million pesos daw yung ginastos lang naman nung time na yun. But
Lang.
still, this is still a public funds,
Yes.
hindi ba?
And at that
So,
time, may mga 19th Congress pa yun, di ba? So,
Yes.
may mga dadagdag na senador doon sa batch na yun.
that's right. So, we definitely have two highly controversial proceedings involving the Dutertes na aabangan pa rin natin sa 2026. Of course, former President Duterte remains in the ICC as the tribunal junked the request for interim release. Tapos, yung impeachment that could again happen dahil tapos na yung 1-year bar. So, what is Malacanang saying in all of these, Tristan?
Well, Mensch, as far as the Duterte's ICC case, Malacanang naman tried to distance itself from meddling or commenting on the development of Duterte's ICC case, but with some exemptions. Halimbawa, kapag nagagamit yung mga pahayag ng palasyo ng defense team ng dating Pangulo, dito pumapalag talaga, lalo na si Communications Undersecretary Claire Castro. But so far, when it comes to the case of the former president, the ICC has rejected the interim release of the former president mula pre-trial chamber hanggang talagang appeals chamber kasi naniniwala ang ICC na may kakayahan pa rin ang dating Pangulo na tumakas, mag-interfere sa proceedings o di kaya ay gumawa ng krimen dahil sa kanyang impluensya sa politika. So ang inaabangan na lang natin ngayon ay ano nga ba ang magiging desisyon ng ICC pagdating sa medical condition ng Pangulo at kung siya ba ay fit to stand trial. Pero para naman sa impeachment ni Vice President Sara Duterte, ilang beses na rin naman sinabi ng palasyo na nasa kapangyarihan ito ng Kongreso kung maghahain ng panibagong impeachment complaint.
I think it's also a challenge for the Marcos administration kasi from within the Marcos family, hindi naman maitatago na meron talagang staunch Duterte ally in Senator and Presidential Sister Amy Marcos. Mas naging evident ngayon, I think this year, dahil dito sa impeachment trial, even yung ICC arrest ni former President Duterte,
Pinaimbestigahan.
si Senator Amy mismo yung nag-lead nung Congressional Investigation Inquiry into the alleged illegal arrest and turnover to the ICC.
Also important to note, no, because we all know that the midterm elections happened this year. Nung umpisa, miyembro pa si Senator Amy ng Alyansa para sa Bagong Pilipinas, and yet kumala siya. She was endorsed by the Vice President. So
Meron pa silang video together.
yes, yung nag-itim ang kulay ng Pilipinas.
That's right. I think that one of the more powerful things that came out with regards to, the relationship between the presidential sister and the president himself was that video that she released,
Yeah.
diba? Questioning how fit her brother is to lead, considering she made accusations of drug use.
Siya mismo, Miss Bench,
Oo.
yung pumunta dun sa Iglesia ni Cristo rally.
Hati yung opinion ng mga tao because she was one of the
Of
staunchest
course.
supporters of the Uni Team, right?
She was behind the Uni
behind the
Team.
Uni Team. So parang sinasabi ng mga tao, bakit mo pinatakbo
Exactly.
yung kapatid
Kung
mo?
alam mo
Kung
naman
alam mo naman
pala.
pala talaga na may problema siya ever since
Ang
then.
sinabi niya naman dun sa speech niya ay ilang beses daw kasi na nagsasabi si President Marcos sa kanya na magbabago. And as a sister daw ay talagang binibigyan niya ng chance. But of course, lahat ng mga ito ay dininay ni President
That's right.
Marcos. So grabe yung political family drama talaga.
Political family drama, because at the end of the day, it's all politics. Right? Family drama. And we should really not forget, ano ba talaga yung issue? Which is extrajudicial killings.
Sa ICC arrest.
That's right. Human rights violations, di ba?
Still with the ICC.
Drug addiction. Sa impeachment, obviously, yung allegedly yung misuse
Of
ng
public
pera
funds.
ng taong bayan, which is also now happening with the investigations into the corruption in the flood control.
So I think the public shouldn't forget the 125 million peso confidential funds sina Mary Grace Piatos dahil hanggang ngayon wala pa rin namang resolusyon sa issue na ito.
And to be honest about it, parang natabunan na nga itong
Yes.
issue na to. Kung ikukumpara mo dun sa magnitude naman ng flood control corruption scandal.
And also, we have to remember na ilang taon na lang ay 2028 national elections na kung iyahalal pa rin natin yung mga pare-parehong mga tao para rin tayong gumagawa ng mga pare-parehong problema.
All right. Thank you, Lance, Amor, and Tristan. And that's it for our third episode. Abangan, we will extensively discuss ang flood control scandal sa next episode.
Mahaba-haba yan.
Yan ang marami talagang emotions,
Oo.
galit, feels.
Galit, gulat, lahat na.
Ayan, abangan nyo yan. Thank you once again for joining us here on Rewatch 2025.